Hey guys, it's Robert from East Coast Sawing Design. Today I want to talk a little bit about my Matthias Wandel 14-inch bandsaw. I've had it for going on 2 years now. I want to talk about what I like about the design, what I don't like about the design, and some upgrades, changes that I'm going to be doing down the road, not today. So, this is a shop-built 14-inch bandsaw. It uses common dimensional lumber and plywood to achieve the frame. So in the case of the actual main frame, it's all made from laminated 3/4 pine. The wheels are 3/4 inch Baltic birch. They're 14 inches, so what that means is from the inside of the blade to the inside of the blade is 14 inches. When you talk about bandsaws, generally speaking, that number is the width of the wheel, your diameter of your wheel, and thus the throat capacity that you could cut. So if I had a piece of wood 16, 20 inches long, I can't go more than 14 this way and get a 90-degree cut. So that's what that means. So like an 18-inch bandsaw, you have 18 inches of throat capacity. 26-inch bandsaw, you have 26 inches of throat capacity. It's not in reference to your height, it's just in reference to your wheels. The bearing flanges and the table are made from shop grade 3/4 inch birch plywood. So it's only 5 layers thick, but it is a higher quality plywood than using your standard like spruce plywood. Baltic birch would be better, but the Baltic birch that my local Home Depot sells is actually made from aspen or poplar. It's not real birch. It stinks when you cut it up, and it's full of voids. It's a very low quality plywood, at least the stuff I've gotten in the past. So it's not nearly as good as the real Baltic birch. So the compromise is this birch veneer plywood. It's actually really good and works really good for the project. I've had no problems with the plywood itself. This table is made from 2 layers of it, and I've not had a single problem with this table since I built this bandsaw. The blade guides are little chunks of wood with bearings. There's the exact same thing on the bottom. It's tensioned via wooden springs and a screw up top, very similar to your commercial bandsaws that just have the knob on top. This is very similar. Tilt, height adjustment for the blade guides, just a bolt. It's on a wooden stand with wheels. And just recently I've actually upgraded this saw from 1/2 horsepower to 1.5 horsepower. So I've tripled the output power of the motor. So this bandsaw actually works quite well now that I've upgraded the motor. The pulley on the motor is homemade just because I broke the one I had on the original half, and this 1.5 didn't come with the pulley. And the pulley that's on the back side of the motor, on the back side of the lower wheel, is actually made from MDF as well, and it's held up really well in the last 2 years. I believe it's a 4-to-1 reduction I have on it, so it gives me a pretty good blade speed, to be honest. I could really scale it down a couple RPM. The bandsaw has rubber tires made from inner tubes. The lower wheel had one, but what happened is the way I built it, the table is actually about 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters too low, and when it's at perfectly 90, just a hair past 90, the wheel was scraping against the bottom table and I tore off the bandsaw tire. So just something I'm aware of with this design, with how I built this one. There's no active dust collection because I never finished the guards on it. Not that this particular one has the best dust collection, because right here behind the tilt adjustment is fully open for access to the guides. It's not really closed off, even with guards on it. So it's not the best for collecting dust. This one uses door hinges instead of trunnions for tilting the table, and that's one of the reasons I chose the 14-inch bandsaw over the 16-inch bandsaw plans Matthias sells, because he sells plans for a 14, a 16, a 20, and a 26. The 14 is the only one that uses hinges for the tabletop and not trunnions. So I went with this one just for ease of assembly, and 93.5-inch blades are very common. Everybody stocks them. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer for which bandsaw to build. So some of the things I don't like about it is the lamination of the frame was a lot of work. You got to have a lot of clamps, and a lot of clamps that have good capacity. We're talking 5 to 6 inches out of them. I'll grab a measuring tape here and measure how wide that frame is. So we're on 5.5 inches, so it's a lot of work to get this frame laminated together. But it was a lot cheaper to build this than it was to go buy a 14-inch bandsaw. So this bandsaw has been a workhorse in my shop since I built it. It's all but replaced my jigsaw for 99% of this work I do. I don't care for the blade I have on it today. It's a 3/4 by 6 TPI, but the teeth are really small on it. I had a 3/8 by 6 TPI. I had a 3/8 4 TPI, and the teeth were almost half as much as the blade was. And that thing cut really good, but it snapped on me. So I went and got this one tried out. It was a bit cheaper, and I'm not happy with it. I get a lot of comments when I post pictures of this bandsaw online because there's no guards on it. What happened was, this was built during my school bus shop days, as I previously noted, and it was the middle of winter. It was February. I just didn't have the time to finish building it at the time. Actually, 2 days after it was finished, I actually got ejected out of the shop for another project because the shop was so small. So I just never got around to putting guards on it. This right here is actually a partial guard. It does block the blade. It's more so for like when I'm reaching over to turn the switch on and off, I don't accidentally brush my hand right there. Like, I'll hit this before I'll hit the blade. But it's worked really good. I'm quite happy with the results I've gotten out of this machine, and I would build it again in a heartbeat. So I'm just going to flip it on. So it surprisingly has very little vibration in it. The little bit it has is this this tire starting to, I got a tear on the backside of this tire that I've got to get replaced, and the pulley, the drive pulley on the motor isn't balanced. That was turned on another spindle altogether, so it's not actually spinning perfectly true. So, and the belt doesn't sit in the other pulley, the 12-inch pulley, quite good enough. So I know that that's 99% of where my vibration is on this bandsaw. But even still, you've seen that the tape didn't like want to wander clean off the table in 2 seconds flat. So what am I going to do with this bandsaw moving forward? I love this bandsaw, don't get me wrong, but I'm finding it's not quite fitting my needs anymore. 14 inches is a bit limiting in some cases. It's a little crooked because I didn't have quite the right setup when I was building it, so the frame's not perfectly coplanar with itself. What else is wrong with it? That's really it, is the frame's not coplanar, and it's a hair smaller than I really wanted it to. And the table adjustment is a big time pain in the butt using the adjustment bolt here. And as a result of the way the table's on it, changing blades isn't the easiest either. Because I have to basically tilt the table all the way, but then that brings this part out into the line of fire, and then get the blade off. So there's a couple issues. Some of them can be solved, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replace this with a 16-inch bandsaw. So I'm going to go out. I've already got the bearings on order. So I got 4 3/4 bore bearings on order, and I've got 2 5/8 bore bearings on order, and that's going to be the 4 bearings I need. I'm going to reuse the shafts off this. I do have some spare shafting. It's just 3/4 inch solid shafting. I'm going to reuse the shafting, some of the hardware, the table, the mobile base, the motor, but everything else is going to be brand new. Going to have a new drive pulley on it because I got to change the gear ratio a little bit, and I want to be able to keep that same drive belt, so I don't have to go buy another one. So the gear ratio has to change a little bit too, to because I do want a slightly slower bandsaw wheel speed, because it is a little fast at times. Going to a 16-inch bandsaw will mean I'm jumping up blade sizes. So I'll be going from 93.5 to 105. 104 or 105, I gotta look up what the spec is. But those are that's a common size if you have a 14-inch bandsaw with a riser block on it, so you get higher resaw capacity. And I'm gonna be putting trunnions on the table instead of relying on the hinges. The hinges work great, but the trunnions will be better in terms of adjustment, the angles and all that. And I have an angle finder now, so it's not that big a deal if having to read an angle finder instead of if I had a scale on this. I don't. I'm not using Matthias's plans. I'm actually going to build a fully custom S-curve frame for it using laminated hardwood. It's going to be 5 inches wide and probably, what's this bandsaw frame? So I want to say this is 3.5. Yeah. So this frame is 3.5. Mine's going to be about 3 or 3.5 as well. But it's going to be a fully curved frame. But it's going to integrate a lot of the components of Matthias's designs. So I will give credit to Matthias where due. I just think that going with a full custom design, the S-curve gives me a really elegant design. The 16 inches gives me a little bit more capacity here. Like, I'm right on the dot of 14, so I'll have an extra 2 inches of swing, which will make a big difference. I will go to an even bigger bandsaw, but I'm worried that going to a 20 with the S-curve frame will be too much torsion on it, and I don't want to go through building another bigger bandsaw, like a much bigger bandsaw, using this lamination technique. The 3/4 boards this way. Using the strip lamination, bent form lamination, will be a little bit easier, I think, for me. So we'll see, and I'll document it in video. So, like I said, everybody freaks out about this thing not having guards. Like I said earlier, to me, it just doesn't bother me anymore. You get used to the machine. I'm a one-person shop. I don't have people working for me. I don't have people in here using it. So the only one I'm worried about safety is my own safety. And if I'm stupid enough to get my hand cut on this thing, then that is my own fault. And luckily, I've only had one incident where I had an accident with it. I was cutting something really delicate, and I bumped the blade. And I only had the bandsaw about 6 months at that point. So I was still new to this thing. So, hope you liked the video, guys. I'll leave links in the description for Matthias's plans. Matthias. German names. So I'll leave links in the description for his plans on woodgears.ca. A lot of beautiful machines he makes from wood. Check him out. So if you liked the video, guys, like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. Thanks.